Yeah, one thing that stuck out, and I can let the rest of you ladies share if you want to. God's assignments being too big. You know, if you ever feel like you could do it, it probably wasn't given to you by God. If you really feel that you honestly that you're capable of doing it on your own merit, chances are that dream is too small and it wasn't God given. God always gives us a dream or a vision or aspiration that's bigger than us so that he can incorporate himself in it. That's why the greatest type of attitude that you can have is an attitude of faith. Faith says, I know my God's going to do it because he told me. I know God is sure. I know God, like, I think sometimes we as Christians are afraid to have a faith-like attitude, an attitude from a everyday, day-to-day relationship with God. When you know someone is capable because you know him, then you can talk faith. You can say, you know what? God told me this. Like Elijah, he said, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove so much that God can bring fire from heaven. I'm going to put water on the rocks. He says, I'm going to let you know that God told me that I can call fire down from heaven. He said, you know what? We're going to make an altar. We're going to drink. It was a famine now. So that's a lie. That's a lie. He says, it's a famine, and we're going to take all the rest of the water that's here, and we're going to prove to you that God can bring fire amongst watered rocks. So it lets you know that when you know your God and you know he's capable, you can say, listen, you may laugh at my dream. Listen. Two people should be laughing when you say something. When you give a small plan to God, God will laugh. But when you tell the plan to someone else that God has given you, they should laugh too. They should look at you and be like, how? When? Where? To what extent are you going to do this? Yes?
I just wanted to add it.
Yeah, bro, yeah.
The attitude and the purpose being too big.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was for Jesus. The
Yeah.
people before he was supposed to be crucified, he prayed that to cut Passover.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it.
It was too big. That's true.
And at the end of the prayer, he said, not my will, but yours.
That is the greatest transference of heart. What I mean by that is when you can say, God, yes, the thing I love about Jesus' transparency, he was honest. He wasn't like, oh, I can do this. Or he said, you know what, God, yo, man, I didn't want to do it. Did you not notice there was two types of contemplations in gardens? When you look at Eve contemplated, Jesus contemplated. But what Eve didn't do, should have done, Jesus said, you know what? It is too big. That temptation was too big for Eve. They didn't even know her opponent. That temptation was too big. So of course she was going to fall to it because that was too big for her. The same person that entered the second garden of Gethsemane said, this is too big. But in my flesh state, in the God, not the God side of me, but the man side, it is too big. But not the God in me. But when you know for a fact you have that same kind of spirit, you can walk into any situation knowing that, yes, it's too big for this flesh, but the Holy Spirit in me, this ain't too big for. And that's why a lot of things are not happening because we don't have the audacity of faith. Not Obama's book, Audacity of Hope. We're talking about the audacity of faith. That I have the audacity to say, no, my God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. But I know for a fact he'll turn the situation. Like, we got to start talking, believing. Not talking, semi-believing. When it's too big, chances are God is setting you up for something big. That's why all this stuff, people see, sometimes God will give you something and it looks easy to others. People look at me and they be like, man, you make it look so easy. Man, this thing is stressful. Man, I left my notes at my job, drove and got the camera, got stuck in traffic, came here, forgot that I left my notes at the school, got here 30 minutes, I had to drive right back to school to get my notes and I still preached. Like, it's crazy how stuff happens, but God's saying, man, sometimes he'd be like, let me just mess this dude's day up. Just let the people know, and to let Josh know, even if he don't tell the story, that I'm going to use you no matter how cluttered your day was, just to show you I'm God. Because when you do stuff that you know you can't do, listen, that's why no atheist can sway me. This man ain't supposed to be preaching. I stuttered as a kid. This man ain't supposed to be doing this like this. I don't got no degrees. It's a miracle. Man, you can't sway me off that. The fact that he is willing to use me and I see evidence that I'm doing something I can't even imagine doing on my own, God is real. When you are complacent and you don't walk in faith, you will miss out just how real God can be to you. When you say, you know what, God, you told me to do this. He used what was in David's hand. He used what was in Moses' hands. God never say, I'll do it for you. He'll say, Moses, what's in your hands? Stretch out the rod I gave you. David, don't look at Saul's apparel and Saul's swords and stuff. He says, what have you been practicing with? That's why before God allows you to get to the giant of your life, he'll give you lions and bears first. That's why you got to say, God, develop my faith so I can have the audacity to believe in faith for bigger things. Anybody else have something they want to share?